Guys, woohoo! Welcome back. We're talking about faith and PTSD. And there's one thing that I didn't say yesterday that I kind of wanted to add. But I wanted to also say, before we get into the next thing, is your healing is only going to go as fast as like a human person can heal. Okay, now, yes, do I believe God is miraculous? And yes, do I believe He can change things in a second? I do believe that. But I also believe that He brings you down a path on a way that, and a time frame that will help you more in the long run. I'm going to give you an example. Me, right here. So I've had PTSD on and off for over 10 years now. To the extent of it, it hit like the forefront in January of 2019, and it took me out of my law enforcement first responder career. So, where was I going on that? Oh, yeah, that I was an example of this. So, it has taken me this long to truly understand what PTSD is, what the side effects are, and know that my path of going through that is to share it with all of you and share it with the spouses, share it with the world, share it with the internet, share it, because my hope is not only to save a life or lives, but also bring more awareness to it. So I wanted to say that your healing and restoration of it all may take time, and that's okay because it's in God's time. All right. But just know that you can work through it and keep pushing through. Okay, so now we're going to talk about what today is. And today is just me and how I kind of went through it. So, my background is I was Lutheran growing up. First communion, was baptized, all the things, right? And I didn't necessarily have a relationship with God at that point. I went to church. We sat in there. We, did our rehearsed words and all that stuff, and left. And that was just, I did my deed, right? I did my deed. I went to church on Sunday. That was just kind of it from there. And then I strayed quite a bit away from all of that. It was crazy. Kind of a eventful life for a couple years. And then I met my husband, who we were friends with for a long time prior, but he's the one that actually introduced me to the AG faith. And I was so like, no way, get that away from me. These people are crazy. They raise their hands when they worship. They do all these things. And I'm like, these people are psycho. If he thinks I'm ever going to be in that religion, he's crazy, right? Well, fast forward, and here we are. But I look back at that and I just laugh. So I knew, like, when we had our first babies, like our earth babies, because we have some that are in heaven, 2016, when we were having the kids, we had to decide, like, okay, are we going to raise them Lutheran or are we going to raise them AG? Like, where are we going to go? We went to a lot of different churches, and we settled on River Valley Church here in Minnesota. And we went to church. We were both police officers, so we all had the crazy schedules and different things like that. So it wasn't always consistent, but we went to church. And then when I went through the darkest times in 18 and 19 was when I really did come to Jesus. And I was baptized and all the things. So I was in this class, and it was called Alpha. And Alpha was a class that kind of just taught you about the Bible. And that it was then in there, A, that I gave my life to Christ. And then B, when I heard Jesus talking to me saying, you have to leave your job. 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 You're going through enough. You have to leave your job. And I was actually out on maternity leave at that point. And I was like, I'm not leaving my job. Like, how would we survive? Like, you're crazy. I didn't listen. Fast forward to a couple months later, I had such a horrible anxiety attack and continued anxiety attacks and intrusive thoughts, and I wasn't sleeping with the nightmares and all the things. And guess what I did? I had to leave my job. He told me that. He told me that. I just didn't listen to it. Nor did I really believe that's what he was saying, understanding, but he told me that. He totally did. So with that being said, that is how I ended up becoming more of a faith believer and having more of a relationship with God. Was going my own route. Nobody was going to tell me what I was going to do, but I needed to figure it out on my own. And B was learning how to be submissive and listen to what God is telling you, and to actually do what he says you should do. Like, he told me, he warned me, but I didn't do it. So listen to him. That's what I'm going to say. But he is really the only reason that I'm here today, along with, medications and all that, or else I would not be here on this earth anymore. So, that's kind of my quick journey. There's a lot more to it, but that's like the quick 6-minute, sorry. Oh, I'm going to have to cut this all up for a story, but it's a quick story for you. But just know that he does help you through. You may feel guilty, confused, trapped, etc. But know that through Jesus, there's hope. Okay? And I'll go live and talk more about this on Friday. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask.